Cd8 Life Coaching with Toro. The Sacred Council, 8 out of 32. The Guiding Force of Toro. Toro, the Decoder. The guiding force of translating messages. Decipher the symbolic meaning of messages. I am Toro, the body reader, and also called the translator or the decoder. I bring you the symbolic meaning of anything related to your body and assist you by translating or decoding any imbalances connected to your life. I also function as a travel agent in the field of health and self-healing, assisting you where to look or where to go when confronted with messages of imbalances. By understanding the symbolic meaning of every detail of your body, and realizing that imbalances express themselves through endless messages, you hopefully can start looking at any confrontation or imbalance in a different way, and as a result, assisting yourself differently. The things that you look at and experience as pain and signs and symptoms and disease are not to punish you, but to bring you attention that there are imbalances that help and mostly changes are required. There is a reason and purpose that the body is giving you messages, and I am assisting you in the decoding of them so you can assist yourself. Quote, "There are no mistakes, no coincidences. All events are blessing given to us to learn from." Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, end of quote. You all know about body reading and decoding. You can see when somebody is angry by looking at the face of that person, or the position the body, the arms and the hands are in. The same when someone is closed off by crossing the legs or arms or crumbling up and not wanting to look. You can see when somebody is happy or depressed, and you can even see reactions in a conversation by looking at the other person's eyes and the direction they take. This translating of body language is, however, just one area of the language of decoding messages. Every part, system and detail of your body is part of a universal language, which gives additional information about yourself and others. Quote, "There are no accidents. There is only some purpose that we haven't yet understood." Deepak Chopra, end of quote. This knowledge lays hidden inside all of you and can be looked upon like the learning of a language. First you get familiar with the alphabet, simple words, and slowly you develop to create sentences. And then, depending on one's calling, you can go into the complexity of the inner beauty of that language. And you can read or even learn to write poetry. The skill of a body reader is first getting familiar with understanding the symbolic meaning of each part of the body. Slowly, you evolve to reading the story of the form and shape of the body created during one's life. Then you can learn to decode diseases and disease labels, and possibly you end up decoding the signs, symptoms of your environment, including the breakdowns of your car, the breakdown of your home, confrontations in your business, and as well things happening around the globe. The more you learn, the more you know, also will see that everything is connected and that one thing reflects in all areas and aspects in life. All is connected. Quote, "The most beautiful thing you can experience is the mysterious." Albert Einstein, end of quote. Everything around you, everything that happens, every detail of your body, everything you think about, say and do, all the struggles you have to face, all the signs, symptoms and diseases actually constitute a roadmap filled with deep hidden symbolic messages, designed to help guide you towards achieving your magical and mystical life adventure. Quote, "I think there is an invisible principle of living too. If we believe we are guided through every step of our lives, we are. It is a lovely sight watching it work. Richard Bach, end of quote. Everything inside you and around you speaks a special language. All has a specific symbolic meaning, and when there is an imbalance, it speaks through endless messages, trying to make you understand that help and change is needed. By assessing physical, mental, social, economical, financial, and emotional imbalances, and looking at them from a symbolic point of view, they all become incredible messages empowering you to transform yourself and any situation. Quote, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." The Talmud. End of quote. Symbolic meaning of body parts and imbalances. I'm going to introduce you to a skill called body reading. Something comes up in your face. The face stands symbolically how you face life, yourself and others, the world and situations. Ask yourself if you are facing things the right way. In this simple way, you can ask yourself the question and see another meaning of what is going on. Your eyes symbolically stand for how you see or look at life. The ears of what you hear, and maybe what you don't want to hear. The hands stand for how you handle things in life, like the digestive system standing symbolically for how you digest your life and situations. And your feet, how you stand in life. Your legs, how you walk in it. The knees, how you absorb the ride. The front of your body, how you go towards the future. And the backside of your body represents how you have dealt or deal with the past. It is an endless study, but you can figure many things out by yourself. Quote, "I truly understand that there is a lesson in everything that happens to us." Oprah. End of quote. Dealing with the messages. Realize that when you are not laying in the hospital doesn't indicate that you're healthy. There are more people sick outside the hospital. Most likely you are one of them. The first thing you notice when somebody is getting or is out of balance are those things getting your attention when it is connected to signs, symptoms and disease regarding your body. Everything has a meaning, but you do not accept most of the messages, fall into victims, blame something or somebody, do not want to deal with the circumstances, and others need to fix the such-called problem. Quote, "Problems are messages." Shakti Gawan. End of quote. The telephone rings, and you probably know who it is, pain or trouble. And most likely you will not want to pick the telephone up. After some days the phone is still ringing and you finally pick the horn up, but respond to the message that you have no time. It keeps ringing and you pick up and start arguing and blaming others or circumstances and you throw the horn down. It keeps ringing and you get irritated, but pick the horn up and directing the information to someone who is to put in charge to take care of your problem. You tell that person in charge to do whatever it takes, but let me get back as soon as possible to my life. You have not learned a thing up till that moment. In general, you do not understand the message, and most likely it will get your attention again, in the same or in a different area. The pains and trouble you face is not your enemy, but they are trying to save you. Quote, "You must accept the responsibility before you can solve it." You cannot solve a problem by saying it is not my problem and hoping that someone else will solve it for you. You can solve a problem only when you say, "This is my problem and it's up to me to solve it." M. Scott Peck. End of quote. Accepting the messages and claiming responsibility. You need to accept any message and claiming it is your responsibility by accepting that you created it, otherwise you stay a victim of circumstances. Quote, "Every human being is the author of his own health or disease." Buddha. End of quote. In order to deal better, what you have to face is to accept it as an inheritance. You may say, I like it or I don't like it, but are not all the struggles in your life that you had that formed you who you are today? When you don't accept your past, it may be very hard to accept who you are today. And don't fool yourself thinking that you will accept yourself in the future. Quote, "We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses." Carl Gustav Jung. End of quote. Whether you understand it fully or not, you have to accept whatever is happening. Otherwise, it would mean you are admitting that you are victims. So stop complaining and pointing fingers, saying somebody or something did this or that to you. Do not give your power away to something or somebody who did something to you. In order to deal better, what you have to face is to accept any situation or person that may have triggered something, but it is your stuff. It is the same by giving your power away by hoping that something or somebody will fix you, or your problems and circumstances. Things and people on the outside may assist, but it is ultimate your doing. The power is yours, and not somebody or something on the outside. Quote, "Nothing external to you has any power over you." Ralph Waldo Emerson. End of quote. Symbolic decoding of diseases. When the body is diagnosed with a disease, it can get a little more complicated. But when you look where the disease comes to the surface, you have again another way of looking at the situation. The lungs. How you in and exhale life and its situations. Bones and skeleton. How your foundation is. Your heart. How you love life. Or is it that you're attacking your heart? Do you not want to feel and bypass it? With cancer, you may want to look at what area or system it started to give you the message. Cancer is an abnormal behavior of cells, and nothing strange when you would look at what you're all doing and not doing, what you actually should do in order to have some kind of health. Here again we get back on how you are dealing with the situation. Is it from a victim point of view and even going to war? All cells are part of your family. Just look what you did, and hopefully you are going to do differently. Quote, "Our sorrows and wounds are healed only when we touch them with compassion." Buddha. End of quote. Everything is interconnected. Body reading and disease coding is not with the aim to pinpoint anything, because there is always more than we cannot see from our limited point of view. This is in regards to anything what happens in life. There is always a story before the story. Quote, "We are too much accustomed to attribute to a single cause that which is the product of several, and the majority of our controversies come from that." Marcus Aurelius. I do not say that you should not analyze and diagnose, just know that it is very hard to see the entire picture. You probably have to address the pain and trouble area, but do not forget to approach the entire body and actually your entire life. Every message of imbalance is not the sole cause of one thing, but the sum of many, and reflects in every aspect of your life. Everything is connected and interconnected. It is for this reason that every balance can be approached from multiple angles. Quote, "Life is an immensely complicated affair. Every effect is the result of so many causes, and likewise, every cause has so many effects, which differ in intensity according to the prevailing conditions. Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. Instead of reacting incorrectly, or not reacting at all at the many messages trying to tell you something, you can take then action. The message becomes a part of your life adventure and not a hindrance. Quote, "The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react." George Bernard Shaw. End of quote. Assisting the messages and starting the healing adventure. When you get confronted with messages of imbalance regarding your health, consult your healthcare practitioner. Seek help not from those around you are familiar with and familiar treatments, but make a full study, for it is your health. Do your research, and when you have a complete action plan, which needs to evolve and include yourself, otherwise you are staying in the hands of others only, take action, do your best, integrate it as part of your life adventure, but do this all without any expectation. Frustration and disappointment comes only when you have expectations. When there are no obvious benefits in the realm of your body and mind and matter, it is for the evolution of your soul, and definitely you have gained a different perspective. Remember to not give your power away to anybody in the healthcare business, nor to any treatments. All are just there to assist you in your health and healing adventure. Quote, "God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." Reinhold Niebuhr. End of quote. Travel agent. As the travel agent in the field of health and healing, I let you know that there are endless possibilities to assist yourself when confronted with messages of imbalance. Remember, there are endless things that contributed to any message of imbalance, and that there are just as many and even more ways to restore any imbalance. There is also not one method for everybody or one particular issue, and even when you find a certain way that assists one time, it may not help the next. So go on an adventure, start looking at all confrontations from a different perspective. Use your past as reference, but start doing things differently. Quote, "We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them." Albert Einstein. End of quote. You're all unique individuals, and the self-healing is an ongoing adventure of experiencing different ways and experiencing more health and vitality, which you don't know about until you have experienced it. Global messages. Body reading can go further than just reading the messages of your body. The entire planet, what happens, is another body to look at. The breakdowns on your home and car, the challenges at work, in your relationship, and the natural disasters regarding nature can all be looked at as messages that need to be acknowledged, decoded, and given a new adventure to health and healing. Quote, "No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it." Albert Einstein. Concerning all the imbalances apparent on your planet, everybody needs to start doing something, because this time it is not about the destruction of one group, one country, or a nation, but the destruction of everyone and your planet. The real solution is getting closer to Kandu, the Creator, and reconnecting with your inner higher consciousness, and assisting yourself and the planet from that level. Quote, "Yet much will depend on what steps are taken during these next years, and what kind of awareness, both collective and individual, is brought to bear on the challenges now facing the human community." Richard Tarnas. End of quote. Toro the Decoder. Knowing me and knowing what to do with me. Let's see how you unnecessarily struggle with my force in various aspects of your life. How you could change your perspective and even make some practical changes. There are endless words that can be connected to any subject, and each subject can have many books because each subject can be approached from various perspectives or angles. Most important is not to forget that all what is said or written is merely an opinion, a truth, and not the truth. Because the spoken and written word is part of the creative world, created in opposites, constantly changing and bound to time, and there is always more that can be said or written about any subject. Regarding me and the Sacred Council members talking about any subject, know that this understanding applies to that information as well. The information is from their particular point of view and brought to you through the world of visionary and mystical fiction. Hopefully it contributes to your life and assists you to experience life in a more conscious, mystical and magical way. By hearing or reading this information, you will come to the conclusion that you know this already, and you do, because this is part of your universal and spiritual inheritance. And often, we just need to hear one word or sentence that inspires and motivates us to do things differently, or to think about a certain subject from a different perspective. Dealing with your real self, the soul. In regards to spiritual living, stay aware that everything that happens in your life can be used in your quest of soul, self, and God realization. Everything is a message, and to be used to reflect on your inner spiritual practice. This is your new point of reference. Decode and translate all your external experiences and use them to progress internally. Do not see them as something separate from you, but accept them as part of it. You could look at everything that happens in life and everything you do regarding worldly things that ultimately will not bring you peace and happiness. All of them are messages to remind you that you're not from here. The ultimate healing is the healing of your soul, which is covered by endless layers of the mind ruled by the sense organs. It has forgotten who it is and where it belongs. It is lost in this world of suffering, and as long as it is connected to the mind, it is not free and part of the suffering. Find the teacher and teachings, the ultimate physician and ultimate medicine, which assists to heal your soul's situation. Quote, "Man is never helped in his suffering by what he thinks for himself, but only by a revelation of a wisdom greater than his own. It is this which lifts him out of his distress." Carl Gustav Jung. End of quote. Dealing with your mind. In regards to managing and dealing with the mind, know that all you experience during your life, and this is every moment, that this is a very important treasure map, packed with clues and directions, but they need to be translated or decoded by you. Everything is basically a message, a symbolic message in disguise that lets you know about the tricks of the mind and the downfall of being in the hands of the sense organs. Everything is letting you know that life in creation is not everlasting and that you cannot find real peace, love, and happiness. Everything is reminding you constantly to turn your attention within and to go above the realm of mind and matter, in order for you to claim your real inheritance. Quote, "Healing does not mean going back to the ways things were before, but rather allowing what is now to move us closer to God." Ram Dass. End of quote. Dealing with your body. In regards to dealing with your physical body, know that your body forms itself through your physical, mental, and emotional experiences. Know that every detailed part, system, and organ of your body has a specific task, but also a symbolic meaning. Is it not your thumb through which you judge, and your index finger not with which you point what you like and love? Are you aware of your strengths and weaknesses? Do you have any idea what your body type is all about? Your body is the external expression of your mind and guiding you from the morning till the evening. You just need to listen, translate the messages, and act accordingly. Quote, "You can free yourself from aging by interpreting your body and by grasping the link between belief and biology." Deepak Chopra. End of quote. Dealing with communication. In regards to communication, stay aware that the words you use can have a different meaning to others. Be alert of giving subtle messages, manipulating or trying to overpower when speaking to others. Others then injecting the words with love and compassion. Try to decode the subtle messages that may be hidden behind the words of others. Replace words that have too much negativity connected. There are many schools and teachers who can teach you to start communicating in different ways. Make a study on effective communication, or stay ignorant and communicating in a way that is not good for you and anybody. The healing of ourselves and ultimately the healing of the world starts within your own mind, the center of communications. Quote, "The only work that will ultimately bring any good to any of us is the work of contributing to the healing of the world." Marianne Williamson. End of quote. Dealing with food. In regards to dealing with nutrition, know that everything you crave has a meaning and a message for you. When you crave all the time sweets, it definitely means that your body lacks proper nourishment, and that you probably have as well this sweet craving because life is looked upon as something not so sweet and even bitter. When you crave salt, it probably means that you do not get proper salts and natural salts in your body from fresh foods, and that you are dehydrated, being an effect of all the incorrect salts and the stress of constantly being on the go. When you're constantly hungry, snacking and drinking sodas, your body is definitely malnourished and lacking the proper energy. When you eat most of the time heavy foods and heavy meals, it means that you're in need of feeling grounded, which you can do through other means other than overeating and possibly gaining weight. The colors of your food that attract your eye also have a message, as the colors of earth, red or brown, tell you that you are seeking more grounding. Orange-colored food items bring you vitality and creativity. Green provides you oxygen and give you air. Blue gives you space and clarity. Indigo the feeling being in a fairy tale, and purple the sense of higher consciousness. Each food item, including spices, have an effect on your total being for good or worse. But are you still feeling this? Or are your meals so complex, packed with too many products and ingredients, a blend of too many things, like your life, which is too complicated and too complex? Are you constantly looking for a stimuli through sugar-related products, spices, snacks, alcohol, sodas, coffee and black tea to get through the day, which indicates that your body is empty and worn out and is in need of some healthier life choices? Why not sitting in peace with a peaceful mind in a peaceful environment with some peaceful, conscious and appreciating people? Has this become alien to you and you now have to have the noise of music and talking around you all the time? Can you not enjoy the beauty and love in preparing foods, because is it not said that the love of a woman goes through the stomach of the man? Are you still sensitive enough to pick up on how the food and with intention your meal was prepared? Do you seek the same tastes and the same places to eat, which indicates that you have lost the adventure of life, and you are just looking for false security, which you try to control by behaving this way? Quote, when it comes to eating right and exercising, there is no "I will start tomorrow." Tomorrow is disease. V.L. Allenaer. End of quote. Dealing with staying fit. In regards to fitness, pay attention to what your body is telling you during fitness activities, and pay attention to these messages. Is there discomfort? Are you going too fast? Do you feel what you are doing? Why do I quit or slack off? Is it about the wrong motivation or being with boring routines? Find teachers who assist you in getting or keeping your body vital and fit, but be sure that they do this as well with the right understanding that the soul resides in your body. Only with this understanding will you assist your body in the right way and derive benefits on all levels. Quote, to keep the body in good health is a duty, otherwise you shall not be able to keep your mind strong and clear. Buddha. End of quote. Dealing with your life partner. In regards to relationship, stay aware that everything which happens in your relationships are not obstacles, struggle and trouble, but messages in disguise. Quote, problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines. Robert Schuller. End of quote. Everything in life guides you, and when you do not see according to your conditional mind benefits on your physical plane, know that it is for the evolvement of your soul. Everything that you think that shouldn't happen or be in your life is a guidance and an opportunity to do things differently. And when you don't, the endless signs, symptoms and disease patterns will keep on knocking on your door. Dealing with your children. In regards to parenting, children are your guides, giving you all the time messages to become a child again. It is an invitation that you can accept in order to live your childhood that you possibly left too early yourself. Quote, it is never too late to have a happy childhood. Tom Robbins. End of quote. Everything around you, everything that happens, every detail of your body, everything you think about, say and do, all the struggles you have to face, all the signs, symptoms and diseases actually constitute a roadmap filled with deep hidden symbolic messages, designed to help guide you towards achieving your magical and mystical life adventure. Quote, I think there is an invisible principle of living too. If we believe we are guided through every step of our lives, we are. It is a lovely sight, watching it work. Richard Bach. End of quote. Life gives you ongoing messages that need to be accepted and looked at. They need to be translated or to be decoded and given an action plan. And a plan most likely not based on your old conditionings. Life is about adventure, and an adventure is about going into the void and discovering new. Make your children aware that every cell of the body is like a family member or child, which is in need of good care, otherwise it starts rebelling and giving endless messages that show imbalances. Dealing with preserving the planet. In regards to taking care of the planet Earth, do you understand why Mother Nature is giving you its endless messages of discomfort? It may be about the destruction you are causing. Look what you do to nature. And this is not pointing the finger to anyone but starting on your level. Find out, with everything you think, eat, buy and do, how it affects the world at large. Think and see, understand and make changes. Quote, nature does not require a time of preservation, which perforce I her frail son amongst my brethren mortal must given my attendance to. William Shakespeare. End of quote. Dealing with the teenage years. In regards to the teenage years, realize that teenagers want to break out and away, but have to wait for so many years to come. Do you think that there is a connection why their skin is breaking out? Do you have compassion for them who still have to wait for several years before they can establish themselves to be on their own? Are you going to accept them by trying to guide them, or is it going to be war? Think back at your teenage years and see how you would have wanted to be treated. When you are a teenager and going through a rough ride, do not forget to be respectful to those who support you until you can stand on your own feet. It is a time to slowly break away from your familiar environment, but there is no need to fight, as you cannot speed the time up. Quote, people who fight fire with fire usually end up with ashes. Abigail van Buren. End of quote. Dealing with getting older. In regards to dealing with getting older, do you understand that when getting older and not wanting to see the world as it is anymore, that you could contribute losing your eyesight? Could you see a connection between getting stubborn with getting inflexible and stiff? Can you see a connection between not wanting to hear things anymore and getting problems with your hearing? Do you detect all the premature old age symptoms starting at a young age? Start to pay attention before things get worse in regards to all the symptoms you are already facing right now. Do something about it, and possibly you can assist others growing up and not paying attention to the endless messages showing imbalances. Quote, if I do known I was going to live so long, I have taken better care of myself. Leon Eldred. End of quote. Dealing with stress. In regards to dealing with stress, do you detect what triggers your stress and how the different kinds of stress affect different parts of your body and mind? Most of your stress is related to making money, power and possessions, and you have to ask yourself if it is all worth it. You may not have completely control over the stresses, but what about those you have control over? The things you eat, how you eat, the things you read and watch, all have a stress contributing factor. This is as well setting the right priorities and thinking before you get into anything. Why do you wait that it is too late and have to spend your time in regaining your health? Quote, so many people spend their health gaining wealth and then have to spend their wealth to regain their health. A.J. Rep. Materi. End of quote. Dealing with weight. In regards to dealing with weight, can you see that gaining weight is not just the food and the waste it leaves behind, but a connection to all the weight you are holding on to, coming forth from a physical, mental and an emotional level? Stop looking back and carrying that entire luggage. Clean out on all levels and start a new life. Start a new life, but not based on your past. Explore a different adventure. Quote, look at life through the windshield, not the rearview mirror. Burt Badgett. End of quote. Dealing with disease. In regards to dealing with disease, do you realize that each sign, symptom and disease is an imbalance inside the body, a cry of a cell, a group of cells, making up a body part, an organ or system sending out a message? In addition to the healthcare practitioner helping you, there is also work for you. There is also work for you. Do you participate in the healing, or do you just put others in charge? Quote, the more help a person has in his garden, the less it belongs to him. William H. Davis. End of quote. Accept the message and try to decode it by connecting to the area the imbalance expresses itself. Then ask yourself, what is the purpose of that body part, organ, or system? Never forget that you are not a victim of anything or anybody, as there are numerous ways to create imbalances, there are numerous ways to recreate balance. There are endless factors that contributed to any imbalances, and for that reason, you have endless ways that you can start your own healing process. Quote, although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming it. Helen Keller. End of quote. Realize that the greatest healing power is within you, and also use these powers to change your entire lifestyle. The lifestyle you lead brought the imbalance, and for that reason you need a different lifestyle, for the old one will bring the message back again. See the healing as an adventure that will change your life, a life that was already due to change. Quote, opportunities to find deeper powers within ourselves come when life seems most challenging. Joseph Campbell. End of quote. Dealing with emotions. In regards to dealing with emotions, know that emotions are experiences, but when connected to faces, places and events, messages telling that you are giving your power away. You can give your power away by saying that you are happy because the sun is shining, and by doing so giving your power of being happy to the sun. Are you not going to be happy when the sun is not shining? You can also give your power away by getting angry at someone or something. It is keeping your power and not complicating the experience by more attachments. So, it is better to say that you're happy and the sun is shining. You are experiencing anger and you have a quarrel with someone. Dealing with business. In regards to dealing with your professional life, realize that breakdowns, the co-workers, the challenges and trouble in your business are not the enemy, but guiding you to do things differently. And when you would look deeper, it is a reflection of yourself in all aspects of your life. Your lives are too restricted, boxed in, separated from nature and from your true higher self. You are willing to work like dogs and do business like criminals and losing your health, family and the connection to all. And when your business is not suffering yet, just wait, it will come. Or you have to start doing things differently. Quote, health is like a money. You never have a true idea of its value until we lose it. Josh Billings. End of quote. Dealing with destructive habits. In regards to dealing with destructive habits and addictions, know that any destructive habit is connected to the past and messages from the past. Are you still feeling sorry for yourself and wanting everybody from the past to be blamed at for your situation? You are the one who created this all, and your inner higher you comes to shake you up, and you are going to make it happen. Find support groups, but do not depend on anyone. Accept yourself. Your inner self, your soul connected to God, has all the power to create a new life adventure. And an adventure is about the unknown, the void. So do not try to hold on to anything other than your higher self. Quote, "A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is." Seneca. End of quote. There are so many destructive addictions, from taking drugs to alcohol and even making yourself completely dependent on pharmaceutical medicine. Or the simple day-to-day addictions of wanting to have certain foods, losing yourself in work, gaming, watching TV or playing games. No, when you leave your physical body house, in these matters, that you have vacated it, and do not be surprised that something else took it over, and you not even knowing what is going on anymore. Most of you are already so lost and do not need to lose yourself even more by giving up your responsibility to stay awake and aware. Dealing with studying. In regards to studying, stay aware that everything you learn in regards to the external world can be used as a mirror. A mirror that connects you with your inner self, through which you can discover more about yourself. First of all, never forget that all you learn in regards to the external world is already within you. It is the mirror of your life. Try to bring your study interest and possible future professions back to your inner self. Like your interest for administration, make sure to administer yourself. Taking care of others. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Art. Become an artist in all areas of your life, and which connects you with your inner child. Science. Go into the inner laboratory and do the research about your real self and inner path. You study so much, but do not know too much about yourself, the body, mind, and the endless messages what life gives you. You do not know about the basics of life and struggle endlessly. Is this not a message by itself that it's time to study more about the basic things of life? Quote, "If by gaining knowledge we destroy our health, we labor for a thing that will be useless in our hands." John Locke. End of quote. You may say, but where do I begin? There is so much that needs to be changed in my life and around me. Every aspect of your life is in need of a different adventure, with new experiences. Just start with something and keep going, for this is your new life adventure. The old one is the past. Dealing with friendships. In regards to friendships, accept all your cells, organs, system, body parts, all your inner characters, and everything and everybody on the outside as your friends. For they are all bringing you important messages. Quote, "A human being is part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences his thoughts and feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our tasks must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty." Albert Einstein. End of quote. Love them, for they all come to help you. on your path in one way or another, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. Quote, love one another and help others to rise to their highest levels, simply by pouring out love. Love is infectious and the greatest healing energy. Sai Baba. End of quote. Summary Toro. Toro, the guiding force of translating messages. Everything around you, everything that happens, every detail of your body, everything you think about, say and do, all the struggles you have to face, all the signs, symptoms and diseases actually constitute a roadmap filled with deep hidden symbolic messages, designed to help guide you towards achieving your magical and mystical life adventure. I am Toro, the decoder, here to remind you of these facts and assisting you in the decoding of endless messages from a symbolic point of view. I am as well your guide in matters of self-healing and health. Summary. Do not forget that everything in life is trying to help and guide you away from the things you shouldn't do and trying to re-establish balance. Stop looking at life as a plague with trouble, pains and signs and symptoms and disease and looking at them as something external. Learn to accept the endless messages and wake-up calls and stop putting others just in charge to fix them. Take the opportunities to heal yourself, learn from it and welcome it as part of your adventure, and stop desperately to get back to the life which caused the trouble. Take responsibility, accept, and want to learn from the many messages which are trying to tell you something important. Take the time for your self-healing and discovering endless ways to do this. In order to stay aware of the endless messages, prepare yourself for the day of how you're going to approach life, others, and situations. And at the end of the day, write down your changes, how you handle things differently, by having read the information about Toro. Affirmation. Everything around me, every detail in creation, what I see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, the things that happen, every detail of my body, what I think, say and do, in every aspect of my life, the struggles I have to face, and every sign, symptom and disease pattern is actually a roadmap with meaningful messages in disguise, all trying to guide me in my magical and mystical intended life adventure. Petrus.